Hello, beautiful people. It's me, Kirsten, and this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast. And this is your podcast for the week ahead, the week of May 29th. So, just taking a second to check in. How was that Ace of Wands week for you? How was that Hangman week for you? What has changed? We're here at the very end of May, just noticing, kind of giving yourself a moment even to track back over time, to think about where you were on May 1st. What was alive for you? Where was your heart? What mattered to you? Where was your energy? Where were you located? And just noticing what has shifted for you over the past 4 weeks. It's been a long month, been a little bit of a blur. What are the foundation blocks that have, I don't know, been rattled or been shaken or been turned over? What is different? What are you holding as sacred? What have you been told is wrong or base or profane that maybe you're reconsidering, that maybe you feel differently about it? Where is your authority? Are you more centrally located? Like, is your authority springing from something internal, from your heart space in a way that's new? And maybe not, maybe yes to all these things, maybe no to all of these things. Maybe, what are you talking about, Kirsten? Like, it's all good. But just to notice, just a moment to check in and say, okay, this is where I am now. This is where I came from. This is what I'm orienting towards next. We have in June the Lovers and the Tower. So that's exciting. That's energy around decisions, around capacity, around desire again, coming up again, wanting to hold more energy than the system can currently manage. And so the system has to adjust. And that can happen really gracefully, really beautifully, very expansive energy. It can happen a little more uncomfortably. But there's something about the decisions you're going to make in June that matter. The Lovers is always a fork in the road, always a decision point between you and me, or you and us, or you and the other. So all of that's going to happen in June, and I'll have the long form podcast out for you this weekend. For this last bit of May into early June, the energy that I pulled for us, the card I pulled for us, was the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is very decisive energy. The Queen of Swords is known as the bitch of the tarot because she's no nonsense. There's no gray area. It's yes or no, black or white. She is very decisive. That is wonderful. We love that energy. When we need it, we need it. And the Queen of Swords, like the example is, you don't want a surgeon or a lawyer who gets confused, who wants to see all sides of the equation. You want someone who can say, this is what needs to happen, and they can move in that direction. That's the Queen of Swords. So with us this week is a kind of clarity, very Gemini energy, very elevated Gemini energy, not the part of Gemini that kind of wants to see, again, both sides of the coin or every side of the issue, but the Gemini that can think clearly about that can articulate what's happening, that has clarity of thought and clarity of communication, clarity of language. So the Queen of Swords has so many wonderful qualities that way. She is tempered by life. She is, in the story of the tarot, she is the Eight of Swords without the blindfold, cut free from her bindings, moving with a kind of, talk about internal authority. This is literally the queen of internal authority, the queen of the one who knows what is right for her, what is wrong for her, and who just doesn't hesitate. And the reason that she's called the bitch is because for a woman, what was that thing that they called Elizabeth? Who is that senator? And they called her something. They used a word for her that was meant to be an insult. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? And she reclaimed it. She took it back. And that's the energy of the Queen of Swords. I'm sorry that it's not accommodating. I'm sorry that my primary role here is not to make you comfortable. My primary role here is to create space for my truth, to create space for truth. Again, capital T, truth, coming up in the atmosphere. And Gemini is also, can get a bad rap for not telling the truth. And there's truth in that. Their ability to manipulate language is legendary. It's like in the old fairy tales, how the fairies could only tell the truth, but the way they got around that rule was legendary. Similar with Gemini, it was beautiful ability to translate and a beautiful ability to mislead when used in a more manipulative way. But the Queen of Swords doesn't have that quality. The Queen of Swords has the quality of precision and clarity and again, to translate truth, to seek truth, to express truth, to move in truth as her highest octave, her highest value. When she came up, when I pulled her, there was a couple of things that were super clear. One, this is gonna be a week for decisions. So there's something important about this week. And then we layer it on top of the fact that in June we're gonna be working with Lover's energy and Tower energy. There's something, I don't wanna like put pressure on it, but there's something really critical about the decisions you make this week. There's something important about your clarity and your ability to speak to what you need to speak to the truth that is with the Queen of Swords. It's again, neither here nor there on whether someone likes it, neither here nor there on whether this makes things easier or more comfortable. It's just true. And she can't help but express that. She can't help but align herself to that. Not everyone likes that. It's not always a comfortable thing to offer. It's not always a comfortable thing to receive. But there's something important about we need to know. It needs to be said. It needs to be decided. The Queen of Swords is not going to wallow in indecision. She's not going to let you get lost in fantasy. And I have to say, the other two energies that came up with her really spoke to getting lost in emotional turmoil or fantasy, getting lost in the mundane, getting lost in the busyness of life, and the Queen of Swords really cutting through the fog, cutting through the confusion, cutting through, again, like that busyness, that just the way that life can just keep you spinning and you can be so busy, so on the move, so full that you don't take a second to think, is this even what I want? Do I even feel good? Is this even true for me? Is it even aligned? This is even the life I want to be working towards. It comes back to that, very basic self-actualization idea of your habits are creating your reality and your current day is creating your future. So where are you spending your time? What are you spending your time doing? Who are you speaking with? How are you speaking to them? Where are you getting lost? The Queen of Swords really is your ally in getting unlost, getting found, getting located. And I just can't help but share that there's something uncomfortable here. The Queen of Swords is always not always. She has a reputation of being a little harsh, a little tough, but there's something here. It's almost like you have to leave something behind, or you have to cut off an idea or a fantasy or a habit or a way of functioning that is comfortable or is when it comes to like fantasy and illusion and emotionality, like there was energy there. When it comes to habit or ways of being or just things you kind of do on routine or ways you keep yourself busy, there's comfort there as well. There's just this sense of this spinning momentum of daily life and the dreamy momentum of emotionality. And while those are both powerful energies and both things that we all are going to get disoriented by or lost in or play with on some level, the Queen of Swords is asking us this week to cut the shit, cut the crap. There's something about her energy that's coming in that says like no more. And it lines up really well with the Hangman that we just came out of. Again, Ace of Wands, something lit you all the way up. And my Ace of Wands week felt less about being lit up and more about being overwhelmed. There was just so much energy in my own system, in my environment. It was a lot. And I had a feeling of wanting to be grounded, wishing I had more grounding, more stability, more routine in that. I felt it as something that almost carried me away. And it didn't feel sexy and good carried away. It felt dislocated carried away. And I was very happy to come back to my routine and my structure and my stability. I needed that grounding in my body. And then the Hangman week was really a lot of reflection, a lot of relational interaction, but also a lot of reflection on, okay, what about that energy felt important for me to see and experience? What about that energy felt not for me? What about that energy reminded me of something important in my own system or in my own heart or in my own desire? What is the flame that emerged from that I want to stoke and care for and tend to? And that's really clear. And then the hangman came in to say, You might not, again, be able to articulate it right now. It might not be something you can say, oh, well, this happened and now I know this and now I'm going to move this way. But there was also an inevitability of it. Oh, no, but this matters. Like, you might not get it. I might not even get it yet, but there's something here that I'm going to hold and stay with and orient towards and, again, move from that is important and essential. And the Queen of Wands coming in to this kind of next act on the stage is to say, now get clear. Get clear with yourself, get clear with others, get clear with your movements, get clear with your emotions, get clear with your day-to-day living. Take responsibility for what is true and make the decision, even if it's the tough decision. Make the decision that needs to be made. Say the thing that needs to be said to yourself, to others. Get clear. Like she really is going to push you to begin to articulate the truth that has been emerging over this past month and especially over these past 2 weeks. And then you move into, so she kind of crosses us into Gemini energy. I'm sorry, crosses us into June energy, which crosses us into the energy of the Lovers, which crosses us into the energy of the Tower. So there is going to be some like real movement down the path. It's like we have to make the decision to turn left or right. That's the best way to say it. And the Queen of Swords helps you cut away the fog and cut away the busyness to say, like, wait, what is true here? What is true here? And what is the true decision? What is the aligned decision? What is the necessary decision to do what I'm here to do? And the hard part, the sad part, the achy part is that I may have to end something that I don't want to end. I may have to remove my energy from a dynamic or from a situation or from an environment that I don't really want to take my energy away from. It would be more comfortable, or it has been more comfortable to kind of be a little bit weebly wobbly in it. And she comes in this week to be like, enough of that. And there's a part of you that knows that that's true. And there's a part of you that is like, well, could we just stay in the bad habit a little longer? Could we just stay in the emotional turmoil a little longer? Could I just stay in these distracting atmospheres for a while? And there's a part of you that's not going to allow that, that doesn't feel like recognize that that's not really love, that's not really caretaking, that's not really caring for yourself. And there might be some contrast. Something might, like your vision might clear, and you might look at something and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I was as delusional as I was in that situation. Or, oh my God, I can't believe I let that habit get so bad. I let that kind of become a part of my everyday. So there's this interesting duality of the truth, the clarity, the importance of the decision making coming in not just in our emotional terrain, but in our material terrain. It's an interesting ask of us. And it could be, again, different. Like yours could be delusional, emotional volatility, confusion. Yours could be a bad habit or a way of operating on the day to day that just pulls you up short and is like, hey, I can't do that anymore. But in either case, there's a self-advocacy that comes in that's all grown up. That's the best way to say it. There's a responsibility and authority that comes online for yourself. And we talked about that last week, this emerging thing, this momentum kind of bubbling up from some internal place. Again, non-linear, like I just see this now. I just know this now. I just have to move accordingly now. And so there's this internal truth that comes up. There's a way it disrupts the emotional fog and it disrupts the emotional fantasy. And there's a way that it disrupts the bad habits of the everyday. That is like, oh, that's the feeling. But at the same time, it's like, time to grow up now, time to step up now, time to walk the walk, time to be your own best ally in this. So, not the most fun message, but very liberating, very self-allied, very clear, super clear. So if clarity has been something you've been craving in some dimension or another, the Queen of Swords brings that clarity. And I just have this very strong sense of the clarity being awesome and being good, and you having to leave something behind when this comes into view or when this locks into place. And there can be some, yeah, just kind of this like, oh, I guess goodbye. I guess goodbye. I guess that's not gonna work for me. And that might feel really good, and it might feel a little longingy, and it might feel some, mix of the two. But we are moving this week towards clarity, towards authority, towards no nonsense, no bullshit. There's something very strong and decisive about that Queen of Swords. And yeah, just clarity dropping into your whole system, and then your ability to articulate and move from that place, your ability to align yourself with what is true now. Very freeing on a condor level, on a high octave level, a little bit of an ask on the 3D material level. So, all right, I send you so much love. I will send a long form podcast. We'll do some work with the lovers and the tower, which is just a crazy combination. Yeah, the energy of deep, deep, powerful activation. So we'll see where that takes us. And otherwise, just sending you so much love, trusting the truth, trusting your truth, trusting that even when we're asked to do the grown up thing, there's a reason why. There's a reason why. And my cousin said it to me again this weekend. It takes a lot of discipline to be at ease. That is just true. The more aligned, integral, clear, honest, true you are operating with all the loose ends, all the messy pieces, the more relaxed you become. It's paradoxical and completely accurate. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.